We're back outside. Yay. Everything is so wet out here. Hello, sinners, saints, fellow ribs, and the glories of men. Welcome back to another video. Today is an interesting discussion. I kind of want to talk about the division of workload in the household itself and how that's kind of the expectations seem to be very different in today's society. Now, this was started by a post that I saw in a local mums group that I'm in, and it's got me thinking, and I would love your thoughts. It's more of a discussion piece, I think. The post goes, looking for advice from other mums. My husband recently told me he's happy for me not to go back to work, but in return, he expects me to take on everything at home, housework, cooking, and looking after our baby full time. The thing is, I can barely get a proper shower unless the baby is asleep, let alone keep up with all the housework. And even when I try to clean while he naps, it often wakes him up. I've also just been diagnosed with PPD, and I'm already feeling overwhelmed. I don't know if I'm overthinking things, but is this just how it is for stay-at-home mums, or does this seem unfair? For context, my husband does help a lot when he's home, but I can tell that coming home from work and immediately taking over with the baby is wearing on him. Would love to hear how other mums have navigated this. Interesting, because I read that and I was like, yeah, that's a fantastic division. Like, that's a fantastic setup. Awesome. My only kind of request or nuance to it would be that there's like an allocated time where she's given time to herself not to do chores or housework or look after the baby. Maybe it's like an hour or so a day before the baby goes down, like while the baby's still awake, because after kids go down, it kind of feels like that time's more so for you and your partner. Maybe that's just me. Would love others' insight on it. But yeah, I think that would be my only negotiating nuance that I would want to add to that. The comments, however, did not agree in the slightest. For example, this is what I said. And okay, add a little bit of extra. She does have PPD, so everything is a lot harder. I totally understand that. I had PPD for several months postpartum after my first birth, and it makes life really, really tough. But that's the beauty of being a stay-at-home mum. You can be a little bit more gentle on yourself during that time. And so, yeah, my comment, first of all, this is a fair expectation. The workload at home is more consistent and significantly less than if you're at work. Like, if she returns to work, the work still has to get done. Who's going to do the housework? Are they going to hire a cleaner? Well, then she's got to go to work to pay for the cleaner. And ultimately, it's heavier on the both of them because, okay, yes, they're both making a full-time or even part-time salary, but the household, like the housework still needs to get done. It's still going to be there when she comes home at the end of the day. She's still going to have to do the dishes or clean or do what she needs to do accordingly. So I don't think that's been considered, first of all. I said I'd take the deal 100 times over. Just learn to baby wear. Like, for me, that was a massive saving grace. Once I learned how to conducively baby wear, how to get stuff done while I was wearing the baby, life was a lot easier. So maybe I was a little bit cavalier about it, but I was like, that's a great setup. 100% go for it. Yeah, you can get a lot done especially when the baby's on the back, you can get a lot done. And as well, your mobility increases the older the child gets. Especially once you get past that 6 to 7 months where baby starts to kind of figure out how to like roll or move on their own. They're a little bit more independent. You can get a lot done in that time. You've just got to be really strategic about how you do it. But you're a stay-at-home mum. You have the freedom to do that. Anyway, the comments were wild. Someone raised, if you're a stay-at-home parent, your job is 9 to 5, is house and kid stuff. Otherwise, outside the hours is where the other parent is at work. It's a shared responsibility. How come he gets to clock off work but you don't? Which seems like a fair assessment at face value. But we also need to accept the fact that housework and caring for your kid while can be intense and while can be super strenuous, also requires a lot less of you than most work does. So your regular 9 to 5 is high intensity but limited in time, whereas stay-at-home mum life is the opposite. It's medium to low intensity but longer duration. And that's what you're training for when you become a stay-at-home mum. That's the life that you ascend. That's the life that you choose. Someone said, this is the arrangement me and my partner have, but when he's home from work, he does help with the kids and housework, etc. If I ask, he helps, no issues. I guess it just depends on how it's going to look in that sense. That lady has a wonderful partner. No, I don't think it's unfair at all. Obviously, in the beginning, when the baby is tiny and you're finding your feet, everything around the house isn't going to be done, but I think whoever is at home with baby should be doing the home stuff. Then on the weekends it's shared when you're both home. Great point as well. My husband is the stay-at-work dad. I work stay-at-home work dad? I don't know if she means he's the stay-at-home dad. That's a whole other can of worms. I work and my expectation is that he does the majority of cooking and cleaning, etc. But when I'm home, we are a team with the kids and doing things with them. It takes a while to find what works for both of you, but you shouldn't be left with everything you do. We use a chore chart to confirm expectations, and that's worked for us. The older bub gets, the easier that will be. Yeah, that's another point. The older the baby gets, the easier it gets. Though, their capacity for destruction exponentially increases. I don't think it's fair that you expect your hubby to work all day, come home and work more, especially as you're a stay-at-home mum. Yeah, great point. Someone else said, I got caught in this trap. I had PPD also. Yes, if you're home, then obviously caring for your baby is your responsibility. But when he's home, you need a break. Mine are now school age and I've waited all this time for a break. Having a baby in a home is 2 full-time jobs with no lunch break. Negotiate a break for yourself. You matter too. Yeah, like I agree that a daily break of like 1 to 2 hours would go a long way, and I think that's almost the ideal scenario. Yeah. So, but it's an interesting consideration because as gender roles kind of flex and situations change like several times within a single lifetime, like I think generations before us only really had like 2 to 3 similar transitions in a sense. Not for us anymore. Like, for example, it's so much harder for us to find our feet. For example, all right, when you're first married, you're both working full-time, say. Then baby comes, and so maybe the mum's on maternity leave and the husband's working full-time. But then there's the option of potentially, more that stay-at-home mum lifestyle, but then maybe the mum goes back to work or does part-time work or does a side business. And so these options are just constantly flexing and changing throughout life, which I think it's so much harder to get into a really successful rhythm with. But at the same time, that does offer us more opportunity for customization, making our individual scenarios work for us. Like, for example, I hope that in a sense, I'll always be doing something on the side, whether that's my business, whether that's like creating content here. There's always stuff that I hope to do on the side so that motherhood and child rearing, I don't grow to resent that or fall into idolatry of it either. Very interesting how our world has kind of changed and shifted. I want to see if there's any more comments. Super interesting. She's actually already deleted the post. Okay. So, would love your thoughts and opinions. Super interested to hear what you guys think and say. My general thing is, if your husband's working full-time and you're able to stay at home, then yes, the household responsibilities, chores and tasks are yours. I would say maybe the outside, like lawn mowing and lawn care and bins and stuff like that. In my mind, I still see that as a very male kind of role and task. But for the most part, the rest of the housework is yours. And I think that's fair. As always, have something on the side that you're putting some love and passion into, like little projects and stuff like that. And yes, get a break, get a daily break. Negotiate that with your partner, because that's super critical, and that helps you have a moment to collect yourself and be a better mum. And as always, sending love to anyone struggling with PPD. Know what it's like. It's tough. You guys are strong. You'll get through it. And as always, grace and peace from our Lord and Saviour. And I'll see you tomorrow.